setup right now is looking like GU for a sell. All right. We're looking to take this short. I really want to get in now before news because the setup is very nice. But again, you never know what's going to come out, so we'll just wait and see, and then maybe we'll still have an opportunity to sell it. Here it goes. It's already falling, so that means news is most likely good. So I'm assuming this came out higher than zero point 0.2. Actual greater than forecasted is good. So let's see what we got. Okay, what about now? Are you guys able to hear me now? Testing, 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 testing. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, news came out pretty much the same. So over to the charts. Again, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, perfect. Am I coming through loud and clear? All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So I was saying that GU looks like the best play for sell as the dollar is looking bullish. All right. So again, we got this inverted head and shoulders. It's pretty wide, but it's still pretty valid. We just need a break above the high of yesterday, and then we'll most likely continue to rise up from that, and then we'll be looking for additional plays that line up with the dollar rising. So again, guys, this is a way to, kind of get to it, right? Just determining what direction the dollar is getting ready to go towards, and then knowing, all the major pairs that, the dollar is correlated with, and look for opportunities on those pairs. It becomes that easy, all right? So we don't necessarily have to look at exotic pairs and all the commodities and the indices and things like that. We can simply trade, within 7 pairs of what they call the majors, right? That's your euro dollar. I'll show you guys here. So again, your odd dollar, euro dollar, pound dollar, New Zealand dollar, dollar CAD, dollar CHF, dollar JPY. Those 7 are your major pairs. And knowing what the dollar's doing, you can, expect or you'll be able to easily determine what these are most likely going to do. All right, that's what that's all about. But there was no real change in the PCE as we see here, so it came out exactly as they expected it to. Again, guys, if you don't know PCE, all right, so this is the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. So this is inflation, all right, pretty much in a nutshell. So it differs from core CPI, only measures goods and services towards and consumed by individuals, right? That's us. Prices are weighed according to total expenditure per item, which gives important insight into consumer spending, okay? CPI is released every 10 days earlier. Federal Reserve primary inflation measure. So again, their primary inflation measure. Inflation is important to currency valuation because rising prices lead to central banks raising interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate. All right, and guess what? They haven't been raising interest rates, so uh, you know it hasn't really been battling inflation like that. All right. So once again, guys, just over to the dollar, going to the lower time frame. I'll get the chart nice and pretty for you. All right, so here we are, and I guess we're not going to rise, at least as it looks right now on the chart. All right, we've been rejecting this area here that I want to point out to you guys. So this is one rejection, this is two rejection, and now this is three rejection, and we're going to have pretty much what we call a bearish engulfing candle. This candle is going to, in the next 10 minutes roughly, it should close bigger than this previous candle. And that's, it engulfed that candle. That's why we call it an engulfing candle, right? Either way, I'm going to set some alerts on it, okay? Because on the higher time frame, once again, guys, we have that inverted head and shoulders, which is a bullish reversal pattern. So that's kind of telling us that the dollar, may want to rise. So as we're looking at price falling right now, it may not really be what it's going to be. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. What I'm saying is just that just because it's falling right now doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to fall. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to map out, every bit of structure that we see. So down here, we can see we have these equal lows. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of a zone right here to represent that. All right, and there you go. So price came down to this area, rose up, came right back to the same area, rose up even more. All right, so now as we're pushing down, I'm expecting this area to be an area that it looks to respect like it did in the past. All right, we do a lot of looking in the past to kind of determine what's going to happen in the future. That's trading in a nutshell, guys. All right, so again, we're going to wait for price to do its little dance, boogie on down to the support area, and then maybe from here we'll start to rise, which is what the dollar is expected to do from this higher time frame, like the 4 hour. All right, and there it is. Here's your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. If you guys Google inverted head and shoulders, it'll give you some depictions that look exactly like this, right? So this is pretty much um, understanding what chart patterns are, what they look like, and then how to identify them when you see them on the chart. And this is something that, newbies technically don't know anything about or know how to spot, uh, you know, in a very efficient way to where they can take advantage of it. All right. But, you guys are rocking with me and I'm going to teach you and I'm going to break it down. All right. So once again, just on the higher time frame, which holds more weight than when we're on like the 15-minute time frame, the lower time frame, this is telling us that price wants to rise. So as we're on the lower time frame, guys, yes, it's falling, but we're looking to catch the overall direction of the higher time frame. All right. So again, this is just the gems on how a lot of people don't, end up on the right side is because they're not necessarily going with the trend. They're just going off of them being on the 15-minute time frame. They see price going down, so they're like, "Oh, I'm going to sell it." Right? They have no idea. All right. So again, we're just trying to line things up and we got to be patient and wait for that to happen. Now we do have another little level right here. So I'll map that out because maybe we'll respect this level here. Okay. And start to rise from here. Either way, I'm looking for rejection and I'm looking for bulls to show up. Mainly, I want price to break above this white line. This white line represents yesterday's high, right? So today's Friday, TGIF, all right? Hopefully you guys get paid, decently, or hopefully we get paid, taking a trade here and, off the charts. But I want price to respect either this support, and then I want it to give me a candle that breaks above yesterday's high. If it does that, guys, I'm selling euro dollar, I'm selling pound dollar, and possibly buying dollar CAD, dollar JPY. They did look pretty promising. All right, so I gave you guys the spill about the dollar. We got it lined up, and it's pretty much rejecting, getting ready to go. We got our alert set, so we can go away from it and then come back when we get alerted, right, to see what's going on. But in the meantime, let's go check our majors. All right. Again, guys, if you got any questions, make sure to let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer you. All right. So let's get this out the way. And then now let's go down the line. All right. So here is the odd dollar. All right, and you can see here's the high, this white line. All my white lines pretty much represent the highs and lows of the previous day. All right, so if you guys were wondering about that, all right, so here it is. It's the high of yesterday, it's the low of yesterday. And now here we were in our Asian session. So really, let's get to the higher time frame, see what it's looking like from an overall structure. Like, see, now you guys can see I didn't see this before. Like, I was like, where did this come from? Right? Again, get to the higher time frame, you're gonna see a lot, a lot more than you do on the lower time frame. So as of right now, odd dollar pushed down pretty heavy, and then it started rising. Right? So I'm just getting my alerts in the mix with this. But as it's rising now, you kind of get the feeling that it wants to continue rising. Look at that. So we just hopped away from the dollar. Now we come back and we see it's at 104.30. All right. So let's see if that was up or down. Looks like it was down. All right. So there it is. It's breaking this level and it's going to the next level, which again, I'm looking for it to respect. All right. So we'll see what it does. But, this is all just waiting. Now, yes, this is a bit of a double top if somebody was wondering, and it is breaking the neckline right now. But, we still have to take into consideration every other level that we have on the chart, which is why we mark up the charts. All right. So we can know what's what. Okay. So again, I see more levels in this area here. All right. So again, as price is going down, guys, it has some pit stops. All right. It has some stop signs. All right. It's like can't pass, go, or whatever, right? Whatever it is. So, it's hard to trade in scenarios like this where you can't really determine if price is going to break an area or not, right? This is just simply why you wait. And why a lot of traders don't understand, that's the name of the game. Because we're just simply waiting for things to line up. We're not just trying to sell because it's falling. We're not just trying to buy because it's rising. Okay? And that's how that goes. So again, just getting some more alerts in the mix so I'll know what's going on. And then we'll go and take a look at the rest of the majors, see what we can find. Again, if there's any trades that you guys have marked up and have looked at and you want to get a second opinion, throw it in the chat, let me know, and we'll go and take a look at it. All right, but going on to dollar. All right, so again, we knew that it was falling big time on the 4 hour, but then it started to do this little rise that you see right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is just mark out what we need. All right, here in the Asian session, this is our time frame where price typically just goes sideways, doesn't really do too much of going up or going down. But in this case, it did go up for the entire Asian session, so that was a bit of a trend during that time, if you will. But it didn't really move a whole lot of pips. This is only 20 pips, so again, that's pretty much nothing, right? You know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. So we broke out the Asian session, we took out the high, we made a new high, we actually tapped into the high to the left right here. All right, and I marked that as red, and that is our liquidity area. All right, and again, I'll teach you guys about that if you come in the Discord, so we'll have time to really break that down. All right, and again, to join my Discord, guys, go to forexwithbain.com. That's Forex with Bain, BAIN.com. And you guys will see the link for the Discord. Just come on in and, we'll get to it. All right, dollar moving 104.30, 104.31. So maybe it's going up right at this moment, but we'll come back to it in a little bit. So again, Asian session, we rose up 20 pips. Then we broke out in the London session, took out the high, got very close to this previous high. And now, we're rejecting this area. So again, I'm expecting the dollar to rise. And as we are right now, we're getting just a little bit of rejection at this resistance area. All right. So if the bears start showing up, then guys, I'm going to be looking for my selling opportunity on the odd dollar, right? And it'll look something like this. I want to catch it from the high. So there it is, 10 pip stop loss right above resistance. And then, I'll bring it down to here. Now, again, that's not typically how you want to take your positions, like with the really tight stop loss, what we really do, right, is we look left, all right, and I can see here's a point of interest. It's a high of yesterday, right? So we made the high, we made the low, right? And now as prices rising, maybe it wanted to go and take out the high, all right? Maybe it wanted to tap that before it dropped, right? But we could tell it's nowhere near the low, right? And we also know that the low of the Asian session hasn't been taken out yet. So again, this is just some logical concepts that you guys will learn over time to really understand how to trade, right? Not just being on the chart, clicking buttons, thinking that you're trading, all right? You're going to know how things move from a logistical standpoint, all right? And you're going to be able to capitalize from that. So with that being said, when I look left, look in the past, that's all that means. I see that high and I'm like, you know what? It's trying to, it's rising, rising, rising. It's trying to get there. The dollar's been falling, for now. So I'm going to put my stop above that high. All right. And give it, I see a little wick here. So I'm going to give it a little bit more wiggle room. There it is. 25 pip stop loss. And I'm aiming for 48 pip take profit, but that's not a 1 or 2. So all I'm really going to do is just stretch it out. Kaboom. Now I have a 1 or 2 going for 55 pips, risking 25 pips. All right. But things are still playing around in this area. All right. So what I'm going to do is just let it alert me on, which direction it's going. And then I'll come back and see, what opportunities we really have. All right. So let me see. All right, cool. And yes, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for me. I really appreciate that love. All right, so let's check out the dollar really quick one more time. See if it's, look at that. All right, guys, pay attention. All right, you remember we were here and then it was seeming like it was going to reject it, but then it didn't. It broke it and it came to the very next area of support. Guys, I promise y'all are going to start saying, holy shit, it really did respect this area and that area and so forth and so forth. Wow, maybe there's something to this. And there is. This thing moves in a cycle. All right. And I promise you, when you guys see it, you're gonna feel like Neo. Okay, you're gonna see all the code. I don't see candlesticks in support areas. I see zeros and ones. That's what I see. Okay, so again, guys, you'll get to that level, but you got to show up. You got to practice, and you got to want it, right? It always has to be something more than just making money, because we can do that doing anything, right? But if you really got drive, you really are disciplined, consistent, those kind of things, you really want to change it, you'll do what you got to do, and that success will come. It's just the way it is. All right. So this looks really promising right now that we rejected, because we rejected with a major wick. Okay, so this is very promising. But again, we got levels of resistance up here in this area. As you can see, the wicks, showing that the bulls were rejected because they're above the candle. All right. So again, just a quick lesson. When the candles, or when you get wicks below the candles, it's showing that as the bears were pushing down, the bulls were like, hell nah, get y'all ass back up. Right. So you got the wick below the candle. And again, that represents the rejection of bears. Okay. The wicks above the candle, right? The bulls were pushing price up, and then the bears are like, hell nah, push y'all ass back down. So when you have a wick above the candle, that shows rejection of bulls. So once again, rejection of bulls when the wicks are above the candle, rejection of bears when the wicks are below the candle. All right. So again, right now, seeing rejection of bears, that's pretty good. But now I need to see more bulls show up. And when they show up, especially if they break above this high of yesterday, then it's definitely going to be time to rock and roll with a lot of selling opportunities on the non-dollar based pairs, and a lot of buying opportunity on the dollar based pairs, right? So when I say that, you know, dollar based pairs, I'm talking about where the dollar's on the left. It's the base. All right. On the right side, whatever your currency shows on the right side, that's your counter currency. All right. So here, when I'm saying non-dollar based currencies, basically the dollar's on the right. It's not on the left. But dollar based currencies are the ones where the dollar's on the left and not on the right. All right, so again, rewind this, write that down, do what you got to do, ask questions so that you can understand that. All right, but either way, here we are where the dollar's still, playing around. So even though we had rejection of bears, price can still fall down and possibly get to this level of support before it wants to rise. All right, there's a lot going on right now. We even got a little bit of a trend line break right here. So again, we got to be careful. And again, we're coming off a double top. So we made a high here and we made a high here. So we have that M pattern. Then we broke the neckline, which is right here. And now there's our break. So this could just be a retest. And then we could still fall on down. So we got to be careful, guys. All right. Things aren't always ready to rock and roll just because you show up to the charts to take a trade. All right. You still have to analyze everything, as you go along to try to see if you have an opportunity or not. All right. And right now, things are way too mixy. You see how price is going here, 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 right? There's no real structure, right? As to like, let's go out to a higher time frame on the dollar. And now look, you can see this is going down, down, pull back, down, pull back, down, pull back, down. You see what I'm saying? Like you can see this is moving down. But as we start to move up, all of this area, guys, isn't going anywhere. So this whole entire area right here, you guys can see that it's just moving sideways. All right. And we call that consolidation. So even though we're getting a lot of shiftiness on the lower time frame, where we can see maybe it went up a little bit, maybe it went down a little bit, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really doing anything. That's why we need the break out of here, all right, to let us know, oh, so now you're done with the consolidation and you want to go up. Or we need the break out of consolidation to the downside and maybe even breaking the low of yesterday to know, oh, okay, you're done with consolidation. You're wanting to head down now. We understand. We know how to read what you're telling us. That's basically all that is. All right. So boom, getting rid of that. Getting down back down to the lower time frame. And look, so now we got the bulls starting to show up. All right. So let's just get some more alerts so we'll know what it is. And again, guys, this is your anchor, if you will, for determining what most likely is going to be happening on other pairs. All right. So I'm going to get to these other pairs fairly quickly to evaluate them and see what opportunities we have. All right. So no, I don't want Visa. All right. Hold on. All right. On odd dollar. And again, 15-minute. Look, we're starting to get some rejection, guys. So I'm really, really wanting to sell, right? But it's so hard to pull the trigger because I know there's certain things that I'm waiting for to happen that hasn't happened. And if I pull the trigger before those things happen and I lose the trade, I'm going to be mad at myself, right, for not waiting for those things I needed to see that would have solidified or at least made the probability of my trade higher for being able to win it. All right. So again, just a lot of gems on how you guys need to think and the psychology behind being a successful trader, guys, or at least a professional one who's not really going off of your emotions and your feelings and not knowing anything of how this trading stuff works. All right. So again, I want to see more bears, but I really would like to sell from the high. It's just I don't have what I need, so I gotta wait more. All right, let's move on to euro dollar. All right, and we'll look at it higher time frame. Okay, so my team got into a buy. I'm going to close out of it now, even though it looks like it could still rise a little more. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and take that. All right, no diddy. All right, get back to the daily, and let's map out. Okay, my high and my low is mapped out. So what you guys can see is that we've been moving up, right? Higher time frame went run, pull back, run, pull back, and now we're in the mix, right? We're back to just moving sideways, consolidating, right? So we don't know what it's going to do. It's trying to make up its mind. It's the end of the week. Maybe it doesn't want to do anything at all. All right, so we'll get to the lower time frame so we can get way more details, see if we got any kind of opportunity to get into a trade. All right, so again, guys, this is just how it goes. So I'm going to erase all of this consolidation. I'm just going to put the consolidation within the Asian session of what we had, so we can try to read how price is, manipulating out of the Asian session. All right, and pretty much this is how it is. So there's your consolidation. And again, it went up a little bit, it created equal highs, and then after it broke the neckline, it fell and it took out the low during during the London session. So these wicks took out the low of the Asian session box. All right, so now we pushed up and we took out the high. So we took out the low, we took out the high. So now we don't know which way this really wants to go. And this is why alerts are so important. All right, set those alerts, and then you come back when those alerts are hit. All right, and again, we can map out any other points of interest, is what we call them, right? A lot of times they're your support and resistance zones, okay? And we just map those out to get an idea of where price most likely will get to and try to respect, before, doing whatever it's going to do. So here, really, I see there's a bit of an order block here. Okay, so that's really like all I see. And then, this is obviously the high of yesterday, but I don't really have to put anything there. And there we go, right? So now, odd dollar, right? What is it doing? All right, starting to fall a little more. I'm just going to put one more alert, right? Let's move back over to euro dollar. And I think we can put some more alerts to the downside. It looks like it's ready to fall now, all right? Again, it's like ping pong, or what I like to call game of zones, right? So we went one place, right? Boom, we took out the low. All right, let's go take out some highs. Boom, we took out some highs. All right, let's go take out some lows. Boom, we took out some lows. All right, let's go take out some highs. Boom, we go take out some highs, right? That's, in a way that, that's how that goes, right? So, people are making a killing because they understand, okay, here's a support area, here's a resistance area. When it gets to support, logically, what it wants to do is bounce off of support and rise, okay? And then logically, on the flip side, when it gets to resistance, what it wants to do is reject it and fall. So just knowing that is almost half the battle, in a sense, right? So game of zones, from one zone to the next, to the next, to the next. But you never really know where those zones are, and you never really know if they're going to be respected or not, which is where the patience comes in. So as price falls down to the support area, you got to be patient to see if the bulls are going to show up, showing you that it respected this area, and it now plays into the logic of this being a floor or support to where price rises from. Not because it just got there, but because the bulls showed up, solidifying the logic. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how we do it, guys. But this whole part of waiting for the bulls is where traders, that's where we excel, right? The good ones, because we waited for that. And once we saw that, okay, thank y'all for telling us that y'all are going to respect this support area. So we'll go ahead and take it for a buy now. Okay. Now, again, not all the time is it going to rise simply because the bull showed up, right? Sometimes it'll rise a little bit and then it'll fall. But guys, you're trying to just stack the odds in your favor. All right. It's just what it is. That's the name of the game. All right. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that turned on the light bulb for, for you guys, so that you can, start to do better, with how you're trading. All right. So again, euro dollar, don't really know what's going to happen. Looks like it's rising up. Looks like it's going down. Just set the alerts and let it go. So let's move on. This is pound dollar. All right. Confluence on the dollar. What do you see, Ghost? Talk to me. That's right. Patience and patterns. I like that. I like that. So here on the 4 hour, for the pound dollar, again, this is the one that I'm looking for to really fall. All right, so we went up, right? We kind of started falling. We broke this low, made new lows, new lower highs, and this is really a level right here. I'll map it out, but it's kind of out of the way, so we don't really need it, right? It's up here, right, like that, and it was acting as resistance. Okay, so bada bing, bada boom, and again, I can stretch it all the way over to the left, and you can just see, look how price just perfectly respect that zone in some way, shape, or form. All right, so really, I'm going to bring it here for now. And dollar, what are you doing? Oh, it's falling. All right, look at that. You see what I'm saying? So again, this is double top. We broke the neckline. We pushed down, grabbed some liquidity. We pull back, fill the gap because you can't see it here, but it's probably on the lower time frame. And now we're pushing down to the next level. So again, it's very easy for me to say, okay, the dollar's just going to fall. Well, yeah, but most likely to this support area, right? And then we got to make another decision. Are you going to break it? Like I was explaining just a few seconds ago. Are we going to break it or are we going to rise? Right? So again, guys, what happens when you believe, like you say, okay, dollar's going to fall, and then you start taking trades that line up with the dollar falling, and then it gets to this area, and then it turns around, which is logically what it's supposed to do, right? Because that's what you guys learn when you learn support and resistance, right? But just look, it's already telling you this in the past. See what I'm saying? Oh, got here, that it made support, came up, came right back down to the support it made and went up again, right? Made another support, came to it, went up again. Came down to it, went up again. So you're going to be faced with a lot of whiplash, if you will, if you sell it right now, thinking that it's just going to continue falling when it has all these support areas. Now, if it did not have these support areas nearby, now we're talking. You understand what I'm saying? Now you have an opportunity for it to drop a good amount to a support area that's far away. But that's not the case. We got too much support too close by to say, oh, it's just going to fall. You just can't make that logical decision with all of this being, relevant. Okay. So, guys, let's just get some more alerts, right? As the dollar is doing its dance. Okay. Again, I don't see a whole lot going on for the dollar, at least as of right now, because we need a break up out of here. I need to see some bulls really show up. And then if we're talking bears, we got a long way to go for the bears to go and break this low to really give me, to really make me feel more comfortable that there's no longer, so watch this, that there's no longer any close support areas nearby. So watch as we push down and we break all these supports and then we break the low of Thursday, right? We break this low. Watch this. When I zoom out, okay, look at that. The next support area is way down here, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Versus having all of these support levels that were so close to one another. So now, if I'm going to say the dollar's bearish, yes, now I have a better argument, guys, because now the dollar will break a low, letting us know it wants to go lower. Then it will pull back, most likely to the area that it broke. And then if the bears show up, all I'm doing is asking myself, okay, we're really starting to fall now. We had to change a character where we went from going up to we're now going down. We got a pullback showing that it's respecting the area that it broke, which was once support. It's now respecting it as resistance, and the bears have shown up. That is my trigger, guys. That's my entry to take the trade. So once I take it, I'm asking myself, where's the next level of support? Well, shit, it's way down here. It's not right there and right there and right there and right there. You understand what I'm saying? So now this becomes a way better trade, and where I can feel confident about the dollar going to come on down. And look at the structure, guys. Doesn't it look like what everything looks like when we're looking at market structure from, what they teach you about uptrend? Here's your uptrend, right? That's what that looks like. And here's your downtrend, right? That's what that looks like. And here's your consolidation, right? That's what that looks like. Guys, when you get to understand how to read this and view this, it's going to be lights out, okay? But too much traffic in here to know for sure that dollar's just going to drop. Down here, there's no traffic. There's no traffic. Here's the traffic all the way down here. I already got it highlighted or circled. That's where the traffic is. So we start getting stuff like this to happen, guys, we can take it all the way down here knowing that there's no traffic in the middle. You see what I'm saying? That's how, people wonder, how does everybody know when the shit is going to drop? How does everybody know when the stuff is going to rise? How the hell do they know? That's how they know. All right. So again, rock with me, people. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get you right. All right. So there we go. We are falling. All right. But don't be surprised if we reject this area once again, once we get up in here. Right. We may not respect it and rise, but don't be surprised if you don't see a candle that rejected this area. All right. That's just what it is. Just that trend line break at support that crossed together. Okay, yes, yes, yes. So right here, and then the candle breaking that trend line. This is absolutely a confluence area, which is what my man Ghost is pointing out. And I just want to show you guys he's talking about this area here. So basically, price broke. This candle broke this support area. So it broke and it closed here, but it also broke that trend line. Okay. So this is two areas of support that is breaking. It's breaking a horizontal support, which is the trend line, what the trend line represents. And then it's breaking, diagonal support, which is what the trend line represents. And then it's breaking a horizontal support, which is just, what this green support zone represents. So he's saying that candle breaking both of those zones and then coming right back to it and rejecting it was a confluence for price to fall. He was absolutely right. And that's what price is doing right now. It is falling. But because of chart, marking up the charts and looking at the levels that are presented, it's just very hard to say, okay, it's going to continue to fall. The correct answer would have been, yeah, it'll fall to this zone. And that's exactly what it did. But now to know that it's going to fall to this zone, we don't know that yet because it has to show you here whether or not it's going to respect it and rise or if it's going to disrespect it and fall. But time is the only thing that's going to tell. This is why the best traders are the patience one, the ones that have the patience to see what price is going to do. All right, right now it's got some momentum behind it, so it's definitely pushing on down. But guys, I'm not, let me see what's going on with our majors. All right, so that's dollar. Here's our dollar. Look, our dollar's not really pushing up that heavy, right? If the dollar's falling, this should be rising. It's not. It's having a hard time getting past resistance. All right, that's that. Euro dollar, same deal. If the dollar is falling, the euro dollar should be rising pretty heavily. And look what we got. We got rejection. We got wicks. So again, guys, it's not that convincing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Got the pound dollar, same situation. The pound dollar should be rising. If the dollar's falling, does the pound dollar look like it's rising to you? It does not. You feel me? So again, guys, it's more than what beats the eye, right? It's having knowledge of how things work, the cycle, the psychology, all those things, guys, and that's what helps you get to it. But listen, if I get a break below, so I'm gonna draw out this little level that's right about here, okay, on the pound dollar, and if I get a break below that, guys, I'm most likely gonna sell it, all right, because that's what I'm waiting for. Plus, this is a bit of a rising channel. It's not the prettiest, but the way price is moving up, all right, it's definitely in a channel format. So you can see here as we kind of got out the Asian session, I'm gonna get rid of this short position so it'll look a little better, and we'll go full screen like this. So here, right, out of the Asian session, we went and took out the high of the Asian session, right? So we went up and we tapped into this fair value gap. So I'm gonna really put, since I took the fair value gap from a higher time frame, but here is where the fair value gap is on this time frame. And look, it went right up to it. It's really like that. All right, went right up to the fair value gap and started rejecting that area, telling me, uh-oh, maybe we don't want to go any higher than that. Okay, say less. Let me see what you do next. And that's pretty much all I'm waiting for, is to see what happens when it gets out of this little consolidated area that it's doing. So if it breaks above the fair value gap, I'm thinking it's going to continue to rise. If it breaks below this little support area that I drew out, you about to fall. And from a higher time frame, again, let me zoom it out so you guys understand why we make these decisions from a higher time frame. Look, that's going to fall. Okay? If it breaks this support, we're heading down, right? We got so many things that tell us that price is going to fall, right? So here's the high. That white line is the high of yesterday. The white line down here is the low of yesterday. So I have an area where I can place my Fibonacci retracement. Fibonacci tool is a tool that tells you how far price is going to pull back, right? So price is going down, but now it went up. So this is what we call the pullback. So the major move is down. The minor move is up, right? So if we're going to, how far up are we going to go before we start to fall again? And already we've been rejecting this 38.2 level, right? And guys, it's about to be a movie, okay? I'm just telling you, right? And as I look left in the past, I don't see any real support area. I mean, there's a little something here, all right? Just a little something right there, right? But even still, if I try to take the sell from where we are now, pushing on down, all right, that's about 30 pips, right? But, I don't think it's really going to stop there. And I think we're going to get all the way down to the major swing. And that's 81 pips, guys. So we have an opportunity. If we could afford to take out a standard lot on the pound dollar, we have an opportunity to make $800 on a Friday. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all know it's a car note payment. That's light bill. That's phone bill. That's going out to eat, that's getting yourself something nice. It's whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good money on a Friday. You feel me? So not even, in addition to whatever you might get from a paycheck or, being on the pole. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what y'all doing, but hey, get your money. All right. But listen, it is looking very promising, and I'm waiting for that to happen. And once it does, guys, it's over with. All right. It's over with. But you can see it's almost like it knows we're waiting. It's like, come on now, move, push, do something, right? And that's the real gripe with traders who are patient, right? We're like, come on, please. Like, if y'all ever see any memes and anything like that, y'all don't really see people just taking, they don't make it funny just because they take the trade. They make it funny because the person is waiting, they sweating, they looking at the chart, they waiting to see what that candle does. Is it pushing? Is it going to break? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? And once it does it, the person takes the trade, and then they're either super happy or they're super sad, just depending. But that's what makes it. It's the patience of it all. All right. So it is what it is. So getting back to the dollar really quick, I want to see what that's doing. Look at that, guys. Come on, man. I cannot make this stuff up, guys. Look at the rejection of the level once again. So, guys, we are, my man Ghost was right. There was confluence there, and it did drop. So you had an opportunity to scalp some things if you were going to trade some of the other major pairs, right? And try to buy what you can and sell what you can because the dollar was falling. You had an opportunity, but it's over in less than, we're on a 15-minute chart, right? So this candle still has a minute and 33 seconds left. So from the time that it opened, it was pushing down, getting you to think that it was going to go down. And now it's a minute left and it's about to close. And there's almost no body to this candle, guys. This is what, again, I think y'all get the picture right now. All right. So again, let's just get some alerts in the mix. And I'm going to be getting ready for, my GU. We're going to go and take a look at those indices as well, because if the dollar's rising, they should fall. And guys, my team has already caught, big numbers on SPY and NAS falling. All right. And we may be able to do it again this Friday, just depending on what the dollar does in the next hour, 2 hours, right? Whatever. Right. But all I know is if we get above here, if we get above 104.45, it's a go. I'm going to be taking whatever sells I see. I'm not going to be saying, oh, there's stop areas here and there and all of that. No, we did all our dancing. The price showed me that it was rejecting all of the support areas, and the bulls showed up to break a high that, it hasn't broken for like a whole day. Okay, say less. That's how that works, guys. All right. And look, even as we're going up and down, up and down, up and down. But the main thing to focus on here is that rejection of that zone. Not once, not twice, but 3 and 4 times. All right. Now, here's a little secret. The more that it tests this area, the more it wants to break it. All right. That's the vibes with that. All right. So the more tests, the most likely it's going to break. All right. So you got to be careful when you see a lot of rejection of a particular zone or area, because it's like, it's like Shanae, right? Just coming over, she just keep knocking, keep knocking. You feel what I'm saying? Like eventually you're gonna open the door and be like, what, Shanae? You see what I'm saying? So keep it, in that kind of state of mind when you see price coming to a support area a bunch of times and rejecting it. It wants to go and break it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks this and gets to the next level of support, right? And who knows, whoever was taking the opportunities on the dollar falling, this is still a pretty decent move from here to here, and maybe they made some money. But for me, that's not my bias on the dollar. My bias on the dollar is up because of that inverted head and shoulders pattern that we can see on the 4-hour. All right. So, sometimes this works out, sometimes it doesn't, right? That's why you got to be who you are. You got to make the decisions that you make and be confident in it. All right. Because some people, like me, are waiting for this to happen. But then some people like you have said, hey, nah, I got me a break. I got me a retest. I'm taking it for the sell. Or, I'm going to take it short. And I can understand why you did that. Right. But you don't owe me anything. You know what I'm saying? If that's what your strategy is based on, or that's what you've noticed you've had success with, then you stick to that. You understand what I'm saying, guys? There's more than one way to skin a cat. All right. So, it's just what it is. All right. Let me check on you guys. All right. So cool. So again, here we go. Gonna look at, there it is. Odd dollar still respecting. Euro the same. Pound the same. All right. Here's New Zealand dollar. All right. So I'm just gonna map this out really quick. Here's our consolidation in that Asian session. We got up to about that high. And boom. All right, so out the London session, we took out the high. We tapped right into this order block sitting here to our left. Kaboom, right on the tippy nose of it. All right, and then we fell down. And we almost took out the low. The low is not taken out, but we got very close. So again, this is a bit of a level right here, all right, that we tapped into. Okay, but the candles did not get below the lowest point of that Asian session. All right, so we haven't swept the lows yet. We took out the highs of the Asian session. We even balanced out this order block. So now, where do we go next? Right? Again, it's the low that still needs to be taken out. But will that happen? Only time will tell. Right? GU, I'm coming to you because I see, you alerting me. All right, but here's our high yesterday, and then here was our low. Okay, but you can see New Zealand dollar, man, just kept falling tremendously, and you see that, and you say to yourself, okay, well, found the floor. You can see that it doesn't really want to go lower, and you think that it won't go lower, but you haven't been trading long enough, because it can definitely go lower, right? And then you're like, holy shit, how the hell? Well, because when we get to the lower time frame, let's really get back to the 15-minute, right? From a manipulation standpoint, yes, we created this floor, but we took out the high. We also balanced out here at this order block to the T, and now the dollar is looking bullish, all right, even though it's falling right now. So this is definitely going to rise a little more. But overall, when the dollar becomes bullish, we can just see price, tap here and then start to fall to go take out that low and maybe go even lower than that, right? You just don't really know until the chart tells you what you need to, what it needs to tell you. All right, so let me get some more alerts on this. There it is. Look at that. So again, now this looks like it wants to reverse. I can't lie, right? Nice support, rose up, pull back, and then, we could break up out of here and, go get the liquidity that sits at yesterday's high, even here during the London session, right? There's a number of things that tell me that this can still rise as the dollar is currently falling. So just going back to the dollar really quick. And yeah, so nothing yet in regards to breaking. All right. So unfortunately, guys, you know what I mean? It's just a whole waiting game right now, right? And again, I don't want to keep you guys forever and ever, but we will stick around for at least maybe another hour, another 45 minutes. That way we can get the stock market to open, and we can also see, what opportunities we have at that point, because things will start to pick up, with that. All right, here's my GU. All right. All right, so it's looking like it's rising a bit. I'm gonna get some more alerts on that, just in case it decides to really break out and get jiggy. All right, and then again, push my alerts for it falling up a little bit. All right, there we have it. So dollar, there it is. Now it's starting to break support. All right, and yes, these alerts can get annoying sometimes, but they do not annoy me. Okay, when I hear an alert, boy oh boy, one time, y'all know how I go. In the shower, I heard my alerts just, rattling. Well, I done got it out of that shower, butt booty naked, dripping everywhere, trying to go check my trade, and it was a very perfect setup, and I ended up taking that trade, right then and there. So, these alerts are super super important, guys. All right, let's get these a little closer. So just, look at the rejection. It's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. And if you guys really want to know what's going on, go all the way to the minute time frame. All right, there you go. So now it's like, oh shit, it rejected it. It went up. It's still rejecting it a little bit, and it's almost forming like a double bottom. You understand what I'm saying? This could have qualified a little bit, but this looks more qualified how it's looking right now. So again, we could rise up, break above this high, and now we can start to probably go up some more. But it's so much really going on with the structure of the dollar right now that it's very hard to tell exactly what it's going to do, guys. So that's why no decisions are being made just yet, but we know how to analyze, and that's what we're going to do best, and wait for those things to set up that need to set up. All right, so here, moving on to the dollar CAD. And again, in a few minutes, the stock market is going to open. So we'll look at our indices and see what that's like. Obviously, we'll look at gold. I'm personally not going to take any trades on gold, guys. I've lost gold all this week. I mean, I won a little bit on gold, but I lost more than I won on gold. So I said, all right, gold, you telling me to sit down, I'm going to sit down. All right. And that's pretty much that. But, if there's an opportunity, uh, on gold today or this morning, then, I'll definitely let you guys know. And, feel free to do what you want. All right. But I'm leaving gold alone. All right. So here on the dollar CAD, you guys can see higher time frame. We did this big little swing. Again, all of this was nothing. Just completely nothing. I mean, you can get a little bit up, you can get a little bit down, but man, it was so up and down. It was ridiculous. Versus, look at this. This is completely up. Do you see what I'm saying? Ran into this level of resistance, and maybe we can fall. All right. But again, people will look at this and say, man, it went up so much, it can't continue going up. Well, once again, you're wrong, my friend. All right. I'll show you guys a pair like GJ. Okay. Shout out to my girl Ariel. But here is GJ, and I'm just going to go to the monthly time frame. All right. We'll crank this bad boy up. And here, right, from 2020, it's been 4 years. The GJ has just been going up all of those 4 years. So there's been plenty of times where we were right here, and we was like, man, GJ went up a whole bunch. There's no way it can continue going up. And GJ say, hold my beer. Boom. Right? Did a little drop, and then boom. A little something, then boom. So guys, we can absolutely get dollar CAD to just keep rising, even though it looks like it's been rising tremendously already. All right. It's just, it can still happen. All right. But let's see what we got. I see a trend line. Man, it's really iffy. It's giving some kind of wiki wacky. I think I'll do it like that. Yeah, so it's kind of tough what this is really going to do. Let's see it like that. Not quite sure. Let's get to the 15. Okay, so do what we do. Consolidation. All right, odd dollar's doing something. We'll come back to it. Happy birthday, upon me, friend. All right, so we took out the low. So technically, we want to rise. That's what the manipulation is all about. Whatever it takes out first is the opposite. It really wants to go in the opposite direction. So it took out the low. So that's the manipulation, because the real move is to go up. And so far, it's done that. It's actually taken out the high of the Asian session and retested this level of resistance, which is that area way back that I showed you on the daily. So I'll show you one more time really quick to bring it home. Here it is. You see that red line? This is the highest that price has been to early in April, right? To where it dropped significantly from there, right? So we have a major swing where we went way up, and then we swung around and went all the way down. So this is what we call a major swing point, which is also a major resistance area, because price got up to here, it couldn't get any higher. So resistance kept it from going higher, and on top of it, it pushed it down significantly. So now that we're back in the same area, we're kind of expecting that to happen. But as we look at it on the 15-minute time frame, we see that we've already taken it out. All right. So chances are, now we didn't break above it, so there's no real indication that we want to continue higher. But at the same time, you'll just know, what that's really all about. So past that, you got to look at structure. All right. And structure says these lows are getting higher and higher and higher. So if any of these start breaking, then there's a chance that we can fall. But if any of these start getting respected, then there's a chance that we can rise. All right. So I'm just going to map that out and show you what guys, what that looks like. So here is an order block right there, and I'll just leave it as such. All right. And since this is a low and this is a high, I'm going to put Fibonacci in the mix. Actually, I can take it from this low and bring it up to that high. And right now, we're already rejecting the 61.8. So if I put it on this low, you can see that we've broken pretty much everything. So this low is a better low to put it at, and we're already getting rejection. So let's get some alerts in the mix. All right, get some below. All right, Bain. So you went to the 15-minute time frame. Well, you went to the higher time frame. You saw that dollar cat was rising up, but you saw it was at resistance. And now you went to the 15-minute time frame. You saw what the manipulation was like. You saw it took out the low. You saw it took out the high. And now you got your Fibonacci level to tell you whether or not it's going to reject these areas to see if the dollar is going to rise. Okay, I think I'm following you. All right, I think I'm following you. I think I'm putting it together. I think it's starting to make a little bit of sense. Of course, there's a bunch of questions, and if you got them, ask them now, right? Help the light bulb. Let me help you help the light bulb, turn on right now, right? Because that's gonna accelerate you versus you holding that question in and then wondering, about it later, or just completely forgetting about it, and now you're back in Wonderland, right? So please ask those questions, guys. All right. But as it sits, we do have an opportunity for this to rise. All right. And I'm just going to, let the alerts do what they do and we'll come back to it. All right. So that's the dollar CAD looking still potential to rise because even though we came in that major resistance area, we got a lot of little support areas to break before we actually fall on it. Okay. So again, um, it's just I don't really think dollar's gonna do too much of anything today. But again, you never know, right? Because the stock market is open right now, and now we're probably gonna get some more movement. So let's hurry up and get over to dollar CHF, and then we'll get to our majors. So did all that talk about dollar CAD, and now it wants to move once I get off of it. All right, I'm going back to you, dollar CAD. What are you telling me? All right, 15-minute. All right, so you were rising. All right. And makes a little bit of sense because you rejected that 61.8 Fibonacci level perfectly, but we'll see if you're going to keep rising. All right, look, rejection now. All right, but back to dollar CHF. All right, let's get it up full screen. All right, here. So you guys can see we had the rise, we started to break structure, so we started to fall, right? And now it looks like we broke this low, so we were supposed to continue falling, which we did, and that's what the low of yesterday was all about, price getting all the way down to this area. But now we don't know. We don't know what price is going to do. So we get to a lower time frame. Let's try the 2 hour. All right, see what that looks like. So again, here was our low. And since we made that low, we started rising. All right. And we actually broke what was a resistance level at one point. All right. So we broke above that, but now we've came back underneath it. All right. So it couldn't respect it as support. And this is what I be talking about, just being patient to see what price is going to do. So as it broke resistance, it didn't respect it as support and continue to rise. It came back down. All right. So I'm about to get some alerts underneath this. Now, this is one that looks like, somebody could have taken for a sell because the dollar is falling at the moment, right? They could have took this and maybe they, have an opportunity to make some money. But at the same token, this is really, even though, we have this as a resistance area, all right here, really like that. All right, boom. We have it as a resistance area. We have a fair value gap sitting right below that. So I'm going to get rid of this, all right, and show you right here. This is a fair value gap. Okay. So all I'm really getting at is that we can still rise because we respected this fair value gap. And here goes dollar. What are you doing? Rejecting that support area is one thing I can see. All right, let's get it nice and pretty. And there we have it. Bulls are starting to show up, guys. So I think I'm going to go back to my GU trade, see what that's looking like. Guys, we may hit a home run here for a Friday, but no cigar just yet. All right, still got a long way to go, it seems like, um, so far. But just get those alerts. All right, and we'll come back. So we were on the dollar CHF, and we can see, there's our dollar CAD. Okay, okay. All right, you're falling. So again, you know, we reject that 61, but we never kept pushing up, and we needed to see more bulls in order to feel confident to take it for a buy. So maybe dollar CAD is going to be a good trade for a sell, right? Take out the low, take out the high, right, of the Asian session, that is, and maybe it wants to go and just take out the low of the previous day, which was Thursday. And if it does, you guys are looking at just 20 pips roughly, right? So not looking too enticing, all right? Plus, we got that order block that, logically we have to think that it's going to respect in some way, shape, or form, right? And you got to wait to see what it's going to do there. So just a lot of patience, guys, a lot of waiting, whole lot of waiting. But trust me, some weeks, you're waiting forever. And then some weeks, all that waiting that you were doing is finally ready. So you'll have a lot of trades that are ready to rock and roll. And it's like a kid in the candy store. You licking your lips, you licking your chops, you rubbing your hands like Birdman, and you just know you're about to kill it because everything's ready to rock and roll. That's how the market goes. So you have good weeks, you have bad weeks, you have no weeks. You know what I mean? But that's just what it is. And if you're able to be patient enough to wait for those good weeks and only start trading when those setups are ready, you're gonna see the beauty of the highest level of trading the forex market. All right. So dollar CHF, and here, right? So it went and take out the high of the Asian session. It tapped into this resistance and it gave a double top. So again, this is all looking like it wants to drop. I'm not going to lie to you, right? It really does look like it wants to drop. So, getting these alerts in for if it does drop is critical. All right. But here is your double top. Broke the neckline right about there. And so we could absolutely fall. So let's just monitor the dollar. All right. Pushing up for now. But again, all this could just be part of a pullback, and then we can push on down. But I'm very wary of selling the dollar for obvious reasons, with all the support levels all over the place. But you never know. All right, you gotta pick your poison and lay in that bed. All right. But dollar CAD and dollar CHF do look like they want to fall from the lower time frames in the market structure that they're giving. All right. Pound dollar, what are you doing? All right. Finally starting to fall. So I need some more alerts. Okay. Gold. Man, I was trying to buy gold for the longest. And now look at gold getting ready to rise. All right. It's crazy. All right. But guys, a lot of things are kind of showing me that the dollar may want to fall. Right. Gold is looking like it wants to rise. Dollar CAD, dollar CHF, both are giving me double tops on the lower time frames. Right. So that's dollar CHF. All right. So only dollar CHF gave me the double top. Dollar CAD looks a little bullish. Dollar JPY. Dun, 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 dun. Um, all right, dollar JPY gave us a triple bottom, rose up right to this level of resistance, then went sideways. Then it broke Thursday's high. When did it do that? Looks like 6 a.m. this morning. It broke the high. So now we're basically getting a retest, and it most likely is going to retest to this order block sitting here. Dollar CAD, dollar. Okay, so dollar JPY looks, it's still both ways. It can go. Clean it up a little. All right, but we definitely had a change where we were going down. And then as we rose up off the triple bottom, we rose up, but we went sideways. But this uh, area here is where we created that higher low. All right, so these lows are higher than the lows from our triple bottom. All right, so again, just giving us bullish structure, right? Run, consolidation, another run, and this is a pullback. So I'm expecting a run on the dollar JPY. Again, I'm bullish on it, but you know, I need to see more, and that's keeping, you know, my hands, uh, keeping me sitting on my hands, if you will. So this was my position before. Obviously, I would have made some money, but now I'm gonna just slide it to the right and, look to try to have a position like this. This is 134 pips. So again, guys, not ideal. This is more, uh, where I probably want to have it with a 52 pip stop loss, and I'm taking it up to, this level really right about there for 379 pips. All right, obviously dollar JPY is one of those pairs that can do numbers. All right, so right about there is probably where I want to aim for. Not saying that I'm going to get it, especially not within a day on a Friday, but anything's possible. You just got to stay ready. All right, guys. So we got all the majors mapped out. We looked at the dollar, and for the most part, dollar is still respecting this level of support. All right, on the chart, and we don't know really what it's going to do. All right, so uh, all you can really do is set your alerts and leave it at that. All right, but we're going to go and look at our majors now. I'm sorry, commodities, our indices. All right, hold tight. All right, that's oil. All right, that's silver. That's gold. And here is NAS. All right, so let me back out so you guys get the big picture. And voila. Right, so we were at a support level, but we broke it. All right, and now I need to adjust. Here's yesterday's high, and here's yesterday's low. All right, so let's get down 2 hour. Okay, and try to make sense of it all. Again, my team went in for a buy because we tried to catch the pullback of this, and so far it's just lingering in between the two. But let's get some alerts. Going to see what it's going to be. All right, and here was that low. I get rid of the red because here was the high. Okay, so went in, made the low, pushed up, and it just really went sideways since then. I'm going to get rid of this. All right, and yeah, that support area is still valid. All right, going to get rid of this resistance. Actually, I'll keep it for a little bit. Okay, but price is still falling. Run, pullback, run, pullback, and we've just made a lower high. This high is lower than this one. All right, so I'm gonna just illustrate that here, like this. Girl, you know I love you, no matter what you do. All right, here. So that's a high, and now we've created a lower high. And again, this tells me this most likely wants to push down, and that will line up with the dollar being bullish. All right, but let's just check out some here. Here we are, right? So dollar CHF. All right, we're on the 2 hour. We need to get to that 15-minute. Again, looks like it's going to fall, guys, and we may have to take this because it's looking pretty nice, right? But on the dollar, yep, we're breaking support. So again, guys, we may very well get a fall now. And that dollar CHF is looking good, man. I don't really want to miss it. Let me get a map on it and see. All right, we could probably get away with 20 pips on it and taking it down to the low of Thursday. We got a 1 or 2, so that's 43 pips. We most likely will get into this, guys. But I want to give it just a little bit because, man, that support area is so close by. I don't want to get, whiplashed on it, but we'll see. So back over to NAS. And again, we just went to the lower time frame on it. With there's that lower high that we talked about, and now we're respecting the support area. All right, so we broke it over here. During 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. But as we get into the market opening right now at 9:30, we just rejected this area, right? So again, that buy that my team is in, it may turn out to be, a positive play, and the dollar may actually fall. Okay, so man, decisions. All right, so we got a clean break. All right, and Nas is, let's see. And this is hard, guys. This is hard. Okay. This is where, again, you'll be faced with a lot of these decisions where you can kind of see price going both ways and you're torn between the two, but you eventually pick a side. Um, and it tends to work out, right? So, especially if you kind of go with market structure. It's just, the better choice, right? But, um, even when it looks all good, it can still turn around on you, and you got to be willing to live with that. All right. So um, the other option is when you're so torn in between the two, where you know that it can go both ways, but you're unsure like exactly which side you want to pick. Just don't trade, right, guys? You will know the difference with a setup that you have no doubt in your mind is going this way versus a setup that you're contemplating because you can see it going either way. You understand what I'm saying? So again, the more you get those, the more you just want to be like, I'm gonna leave it alone, right? We're at the end of the week, right? Yes, the stock market is open, and maybe these indices will do something, but there's some things to take into consideration, right? We got the whole presidential thing going on. There's a lot going on in the world, right? The whole Sonya Macy stuff. It's a lot. So things are going to be a little up and down as they've been. So until things start to come out and be a little bit more clear, which typically happens when the week begins, that's when you'll start seeing setups that look crystal clear. All right, so look, the dollar was falling and that should be rising, but it's falling. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a tough situation, guys. All right, but let's look at the dollar one more time. Okay, yeah, it definitely looks like it wants to drop. So let's look at that dollar CHF. And again, it wouldn't be too bad to take it because again, we got a very tight stop on it, and it is giving us a double top with a break and a retest of the neckline. So let's go ahead and do it, guys. We're gonna sell dollar CHF. This may be our only play for the time being because it just looks pretty decent from this 15-minute time frame on a market structure standpoint. All right, so get a few alerts below it. All right, and whoop, there it is. So 20 for 44, again, right over 1 or 2. Not much, but if you got a standard lot, that's $400. All right. This is dollar CHF. Sell now. All right. Entry price is going to be 88209. So 0.88. Stop loss is going to be this. That's 20 pips. TP is going to be this, and that is 44 pips. Okay, and you got a 1 and 2. Okay, and last but not least, okay, I don't know why it does that. All right, so pound dollar, again, not giving me much of anything. Euro dollar, rising just slightly, not much. odd dollar a little deeper into resistance, not giving me too much. Okay, NAS, look at that, it's falling. And this is what, you know, it's expected because it made the lower high, which actually was a double top or equal highs rather. And then it broke the trend line. So again, back to my man Ghost, confluences. All right, so we can expect it to, continue falling from here. And I'll get out of my buy position. Um, Again, even though I know that could still turn around. But right now, yep, it looks like an opportunity to sell it. All right. But you never know. You never know. All right. So here, just more alerts in the mix. Okay, gold. What are you doing? All right. Seems like you want to rise, but I see you got a little resistance right there. Get the alerts closer. SPY. All right. SPY also looks like it's ready to do its next drop. Got the break, got the retest, and respecting it right now as resistance. So on that lower time frame, guys, we can definitely get a drop. Here's the trend line. We'll just wait for that to break like Nas did. And again, we can take it to the low of Thursday and probably grab 39 points out of that. Last but not least, SPY. So, US 30. So definitely looking bullish and not like Nas and SPY. Okay. There goes that double top. Double bottom. And then we took off. So it's breaking the high of Thursday. And here's a high that it most likely can get to if it wants to really go. But we got a little resistance level here that it needs to get past. So we may have an opportunity on a sell on US 30, just depending on how things go when it gets to this area. All right. Dollar, yep, falling. So we may be in profit on dollar CHF. Okay, not yet. Dollar JPY is what it was. All right. And dollar JPY. Everything is mixed, guys. So it's really, really hard. But I feel like everything is going to be a lot more clear come next week. Let's just see if we got a lot of news going on. Why do they have Tupac up here on the Forex site? Accused Tupac killer claim Sean Diddy Combs paid $1 million to put a hit on him. I think we know that already. All right, but I don't know why that's on Forex. Okay, here. All right, next week, Tuesday, we got job openings and CB consumer confidence. Wednesday, got non-farm payroll or unemployment. We got employee cost index. We got pending home sales. We got the funds rate. So this is going to be interest rates. And if they don't rise it, boy, oh boy, it's going to be an issue. FOMC. So Wednesday is going to be a big day. Thursday, we got unemployment, ISM. Those are huge movers. And then Friday, we got non-farm employment and unemployment with the hourly earnings. So starting all the way from Tuesday, guys, we're going to have an event-filled week, definitely picking up hugely on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we'll have some action as well. So like I mentioned, that Monday, we'll start to see clean setups. But then that Tuesday and Wednesday, things will start to rock and roll. So don't fear that, nothing's here right now. Just, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And then everything will be fine. But guys, any questions, any comments, any concerns whatsoever, I'll be more than happy to answer you. Let me know. All right, guys. So if there's no questions, that'll do it for this morning. We're at the top of the hour, guys. Make sure you set your alerts. You know what we're looking at, know what we're expecting. And again, if you really want to get with it, come holler at me, forexwithbain.com, right? And we can get to it, all right? But in the meantime, in between time, I hope y'all have a great morning. And y'all know what it is. It's your boy. Peace.